Welcome back. We're here in the Fox 61 by Carrier Kitchen. We are talking about family dinner with Fornarelli's Restaurant and Bar. It is very important for both of you. We are joined here today by Vito and John. Thanks so much for being with us. Vito and John Fornarelli.
Yes, nice to meet you.
So we're talking about family dinner. Back in the day, everybody used to do it. It was a family staple every Sunday, right? But you have kept it going, even though it's not necessarily part of every family's routine anymore.
Yeah, well, today it is, and we'll show you how we do a Sunday dinner at Fornarelli's.
All right. Vito, why don't you walk us through what's going on here?
All right, so my father, John's going to prepare us a Broll. It's thinly sliced piece of tenderloin with a slice of mortadella, and then we put herbs and cheeses, fresh ground Parmesan cheese, parsley, garlic, a little salt and pepper. We roll it up, we braise it in red wine, and we let it sit in the sauce. And then final product is right here, a nice, piece of meat that's tender, goes with the sauce, pasta, and it's a nice, option for dinner. So my father's going to roll some up for you and show you how we do it.
And one thing about the braciole is a very traditional Italian meal. Growing up, I used to help my mother make them every Sunday. She used to get up early in the morning and start making the sauce. I used to help her make the bracioles, and I'll show you what we do. On a braciole, we'll get a nice piece of meat. We slice it nice and thin. Some people like pounding. I don't. Since the meat doesn't have a lot of fat in it, it's a very dry piece of meat. We add a piece of mortadella in there to add a little fat in it. Then what I do is we get a little fresh garlic. We just put a little fresh garlic on there. You could put salt and pepper on it. You could put, sometimes if you want a little hotter, you could put some pepper seeds in there. Then I add the cheese, nice amount of grated cheese. We use a nice ground aged Padano. I like it for the flavor that it gives the braciole. Then finally we put the fresh chopped parsley. Everything's fresh. One thing about my mother and our style of cooking, we do everything as fresh as possible, of course, during the seasons. In the summertime, we got the tomatoes out of the garden. In the wintertime, we have to use whatever we can. So the next thing we do with the braciole, since we have all the different things on there, they're very simple. All you do is you start rolling. Very simple. And the most important thing is when we braise it in wine, and then we slowly cook it in sauce. That's the final product. Now, also we do put toothpicks in there, so it doesn't break apart, and all the flavors stay in there. The most important about the braciole, it is a dry piece of meat, but it's supposed to break apart while you're eating with the sauce, so it always stays moist. But the flavor is unbelievably. Growing up, this is one of my favorites. And until to this day, it's still one of my Sunday favorites. Easy to make. One thing about Italian food is very easy to make. Limited ingredients in every dish. We don't use a lot of butter. We don't use a lot of sugar. And my mother, if I use sugar in my sauce, she'd give me a beating.
So John, what wine would you pair with that?
There's two train of thoughts. Usually I would like a nice dry wine. Okay, we use a nice
either a Chianti or a Montepulciano.
Either that, or sometimes if you don't, you can even use a Zinfandel. Okay, because some of the times the sugar, people want to add sugar to the sauce. You don't have to. You put a little, you stir fry little onions, you caramelize some little onions. You start your sauce with that, and then same thing with use a little bit wine that has a little more sugar in it, but the most important thing, you got to slow cook it. When you eat this, it falls apart in your mouth.
Alvina, walk us through some of the other items that you've brought to display.
So what we'd start off with, whether I'm eating at Nona's or we're having it at home, same thing at the restaurant. We have a nice appetizer of marinated octopus. We boil a Mediterranean octopus, so the procedures of how we prepare it, we boil it, and then we grill it, and then we jar it with garlic, parsley, lemon juice, and olive oil. So what that does is makes it very tender. It becomes, it changes the complexity of the protein.
We got to quickly run through the
Okay, now we have ravioli catenaccios, handmade with a fresh pomodoro sauce, and our signature veal saltimbocca with veal and prosciutto and mozzarella cheese.
Well,
and then one more
delicious.
thing. Okay.
We got to go, but thanks so much for being with us. Fornarelli's in Colchester. Family dinner is still alive and very well. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see